What's up, icons? It's the iconic fashion figure back with another video. Now, I've gone through the process with you guys of helping you get your business registered, finding vendors, ordering supplies, and everything that you'll need to run a successful business. But the one thing that we haven't touched on is marketing your business and getting your brand in front of the customers that are actually going to buy your product. So I've decided to start a marketing segment because I definitely can't do it in one video, but we're going to do a marketing segment to make sure we get your brand in front of all of your potential customers. So those of you that follow me on Instagram, or any of you that have liked my Facebook page, because I notice some of you have liked the Facebook page as well, you'll know that I'm not very consistent when it comes to social media. So that's going to be our first portion of the marketing segment, is social media. Specifically, I'm going to start with Instagram because that's where a lot of our traffic comes from as far as boutique owners or just being in the fashion industry in general. You can bring a lot of traffic to your website just from Instagram alone. So we're going to start with Instagram. Now, me being me, I'm on again, off again when it comes to social media. I'll take it seriously and try to post as much as possible and engage and all that stuff. But after maybe like a month or so, even if I even make it a month, I tend to fall off a bit, or I just become unfocused with it because social media is usually not my number one focus. But I promised myself in 2020, I am going to be more consistent with social media and I'm going to take it serious. So what I want to do with all of you guys is do it with you. We're going to learn social media together, specifically Instagram right now. And we're going to try to grow our Instagram pages together. Now, I've been doing the research as far as watching videos, listening to podcasts, reading different blogs, whatever, with everyone's tips and hacks and all this stuff that they're trying to teach us on how to grow Instagram. For the most part, everyone's saying pretty much the same things. Some people are telling you crazy things like you can get 10,000 in 2 weeks, or how they got 50,000 in a month and all this crazy stuff. I'm not focused on that. I don't know if those videos are true or not. I'm just going based off what I feel I can reach. So as I was doing my research and trying to understand Instagram and their crazy algorithm that they're always changing, I decided to come up with my own plan and figured I'll share that with you guys too. So I started out by coming up with my goal of what I wanted to hit, figuring out the deadline for my goal. So, because that'll help me personally to actually be more consistent with it. If I know I have a goal and a deadline, then I'll do everything I can to work towards it. If I'm just saying I'm just going to grow Instagram, I'll never stick to it. So I have to have a goal and a deadline and then a plan on how to get it. But before I even go into that, I'm just going to share with you some of the things that I learned as I was doing my research. So of course, the number one thing everyone's telling you if you want to grow your Instagram is to be more consistent, meaning post on a regular basis, just being involved on the app more. You just have to be consistent with it. So you want to figure out what fits your schedule as far as being more consistent, because there's some brands that post multiple times a day or at least post once a day. I know for me, I can't do that, so I'm going to start out with just doing like 2 to 3 times a week as far as posts. Stories is a different thing, but actual posts on my feed 2 to 3 times a week. Once I find more time to edit pictures and take the right pictures or whatnot, then I'll start to post more. But right now, 2 to 3 times a week, even though I take a ton of pictures, I have so many pictures that I have not used and have not put on social media that I've done during photo shoots. It's just as far as planning it out, editing, getting the captions and all that stuff, I don't have time for it, so they never make it to social media. So that's why I'm sticking to 2 to 3 times a week. The number 2 thing I tend to hear a lot when doing the research, if you want to grow your Instagram, is to engage, whether it's engaging on other people's posts or engaging with your own audience, like on your post. I'll be sure to try to respond to all comments, not just like them, but actually respond to them. And then also like and comment on other people's posts as well. which there's a strategy to help you do that each day, which I'm going to go through. As far as posts, everyone had different opinions on hashtags, using hashtags in your post. The one thing everyone could agree on is to make sure you include hashtags on every post that you make on Instagram. But the amount of hashtags to use, everyone has something different to say. Some people say to use all 30. Some people say don't use all 30 because it doesn't look good and it just looks like spam, so Instagram will shadow ban you for too many hashtags. So some people say use like 4 or 5. Some people tell you use 11. Like, everyone's opinion on that is different. So I feel like as far as how many hashtags you use is your personal preference. So for me, just because my engagement has gone way down on my Instagram because I wasn't active for like a month or two, I'm going to use all 30 to try to gain as much engagement as I possibly can, just in the beginning. So maybe like the first two to 4 weeks, I'll use all 30 hashtags, and then I'll start to narrow back. Along with the hashtags, you also have to make sure you have the right caption. For me, I used to just use quotes because it's the easiest thing. I'm always listening to music. I'm always on Pinterest, so I always see a bunch of quotes, hearing a bunch of quotes. So that was always the thing that I did. Some people say to not use quotes. Some people say to use a super long caption. Some say don't make the caption too long because people aren't going to read it. Again, that's another situation where everyone has a different opinion on the caption. The one thing that I noticed that everyone tends to agree on is to have a call to action in the caption, trying to get people to engage, whether it's to comment or to click a link to go to your website or go view a specific product or page or anything like that. As long as you're getting your audience to do something after they read your caption is fine. So I personally think if it's too long, people aren't going to read it because Instagram is about pictures and videos. People aren't sitting there reading unless you can find a good starter to get them wrapped into whatever your caption is about. If that first sentence or two is something really good that they're going to keep reading, then it's fine on how long the caption is. But if it's too long, people see it and they just keep scrolling. Now that I've gone through as far as post, now I'm going to get into stories because stories is a huge part of it. For stories, even though I'm not posting on my feed every day, I definitely want to focus on posting to my story every single day, hopefully multiple times a day. There was, again, different opinions on how many times you should post to your story, but on average I got about 3 times per day. I decided, since I'm trying to build up my engagement as much as possible and I want my story to be at the very beginning for everyone, I'm going to try to do 3 to 6 times per day as far as my story, and just spread it out throughout the day, 3 to 6 posts per day. And within those stories, I want to try to throw in a poll or a quiz or a question, something like that, to get people to engage. So 3 to 6 stories per day, at least one poll or question or something like that thrown in the mix to get people to respond back to it. And the last thing I want to try to do every single day is to engage, because I definitely don't engage on Instagram. I'll post and get off. I'll try to go on and respond to DMs and I get off. I don't sit there and scroll because my attention span is just so short. And I know I have a million things to do, so the moment I go on Instagram, I remember, oh, I need to do this, and I'll get right off. So as far as me engaging on Instagram, I'm horrible with it, but I'm going to try. So one of the things that I found when I was doing my research was the 180 strategy. Basically, in a nutshell, it was explained that as you should put your 2 cents on at least 90 pictures per day, which would be equivalent to $1.80 if it was 2 cents times 90 pictures. And how you would do that is you'll follow 10 different hashtags. So follow 10 hashtags that are relative to your niche, which most of us are apparel or maybe accessories, shoes, or you can just follow boutique hashtags, whatever. You want to follow 10 of them. And every single day, you're going to go on those 10 hashtags, and on each 10 hashtags, you're going to like and comment on 9 pictures. So you can do the 9 most recent pictures or the 9 top pictures. You're going to like and you're going to leave a comment on those 9 pictures, and you're going to go through all 10 hashtags and 9 pictures in each one, which will give you 90 pictures each day that you'll like and comment on. You can sit and do it in a session, or you can spread it out throughout your day. I will most likely spread it out because, again, my attention span is too short. I won't make it through 90 pictures. But that'll help me to hopefully engage every single day on Instagram and hopefully build my engagement up as well. I kind of explained everything that I researched in a nutshell. Hopefully I can edit this down so this video is not too long. I can go back and explain to you what my goal is and my deadline, because I pretty much told you my plan already on how I'm going to get there. For the year of 2020, I definitely want to hit that K mark. So of course when you hit 10,000 and up, you get the K versus it showing the full number out. Plus you'll get the swipe up in your stories. So the goal is to hit that 10K before the end of the year. If I can do it sooner than that, even better. I just don't know how quickly it'll grow, because you hear different things from people saying they get 10K in a week, 10K in a month, 10K in 6 months. To me, I'm just going to give myself the year and just be consistent and see what happens. I'm going to be doing this with you guys, and you guys will see my progress because I'll keep recording it and show you guys, and hopefully you guys can share your progress as well. We'll see, like, by the end of this month how much I've grown. And if I've grown quite a bit, then we'll push that deadline up sooner, so that way it forces me to stay consistent. But if I see in a month like I had only gained not even 100, then I'll keep it for the rest of the year and just be consistent and see what happens. My plan, which we pretty much already went over, but 3 steps. I'm going to remain consistent with the 180 strategy. I'm going to post 2 to 3 posts per week, and I am going to post 3 to 6 stories per day, with at least one of them being a poll or a question or something of that sort. So we've got my goal, my deadline, and my strategy. Make sure to drop a comment down below with your Instagram handle for those of you that are going to join me on this journey, so I can keep up with your progress as well as mine. Let's see who can actually hit these goals, or if you have a different goal than mine and a different deadline, make sure to leave it down in the comments as well. So that's it for today's video. Until the end of the month, when I'll record another video and let you guys know my progress. I should probably tell you where I am now so we know where I'll be at the end of the month. I want to say I'm like at 4,000 followers on Instagram right now. I'm not sure, I'll have to double check, but I'm sure it's just over 4,000. So let's see where we are by the end of February. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up so that way I can record more videos on marketing, social media specifically, but I'll definitely go into other marketing tools as well. And make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you for watching.